taking the last flight out of Da Nang is sitting here tonight. Captain Ken Healy. The other World Airways airplane that was flying close to Captain Healy's flight, Veronica Villano was on that flight. The rest of us were at Yokota Air Force Base holding our breaths and praying. So I'm here to ask, does anybody have any questions to ask Captain Healy regarding that flight?
How did you manage to keep it afloat with all the damage?
The truth of the matter is, I really wasn't flying that airplane. The man upstairs was.
I'd like to add to that, as a World Airways Stewardess, one of the pride that I had working for Ed Daly's company, because it was Mr. Daly's company, was the fact that we all had such tremendous trust in our pilots. We knew that when we left the ground to go from point A to point B, we'd get there safely. There was no doubt in our mind. Captain Healy, Vice President of Operations, and a pilot went forward and did his duty as he saw fit to respond to the citizens of Vietnam. I was based at Yokota Air Force Base, and I was proud to report directly to Captain Best, who is also sitting here tonight, Director of Operations for Yokota Air Force Base, ensuring that all of us, we did what we were to do, and also very proud to be part of Captain Villano's crew as he flew. We were sure, as Veronica had stated, when we first flew into Vietnam to take the children out of Vietnam, because Mr. Daly had promised the Christian Brothers, the St. Mary's College in Moraga here in California, that he would go back and take those children home that belonged to the veterans here. It was very clear that he was going to do whatever, pardon my expression, whatever the hell it took to get those children back. There was no stopping him. I was very young at the time, and I was so impressed with that determination. There was no stopping him. He was going to do it. And when those children came back to Oakland, and the government, U.S. government said, and the Vietnamese government said, you can't do that. We will now allow our military to bring them back. Okay. So we stepped back. It was with heavy heart and a lot of tears when we found out that that aircraft had crashed. The Air Force airplane had crashed with the small children, and that the government, and I take my hat off to the United States government, saying, okay, Ed, you do it, you know what you're doing. And we went back and we got those orphans and we put them back in boxes we had them in boxes, these little babies, and then we had we secured them in the seats. And that's how we flew. Out of Saigon, out of Da Nang, we flew into Yokota, and we took a DC-8 to Oakland Air Force, to Oakland, California, and we did that until we actually completed Mr. Daly's promise to the Christian Brothers. We bought those babies back to all of the veterans who said, I've got a child here. We've got to bring that baby back home to us. And we did. And there wasn't anyone at World Airways who stopped and said, we're not doing that. We all did it.
Yoli,
I'm very proud of that.
who paid for the flights?
I think
World Airways.
World Airways.
Ed Daly paid for it. Mr. Daly was a maverick.
All right.
I don't know if you folks know the legend. You didn't say no to him. He would come into a meeting and he'd say, this is what I want done, GD, and you did it. And so no one thought twice about that. It felt like the right thing to do. So he actually funded many of those flights. We're going to show you a picture of the baby lift. And then in 2005, again, World Airways funded out of Oakland, California, to take those babies who came back who are now grown and take them back to Vietnam and to show them their country. And we volunteered. There were a lot of us who volunteered to go back. So I need to tell you, Veronica was saying we would get on the airplane and we would look at you folks and you looked like you were so young. You know, you looked like you were 12 years old. We were babies too. You know, you guys were like way good looking.
Still are.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, I'm looking around and you still are. And we would walk up and down the aisle and we would go to the aft galley or we would go to the front and we'd say, check out the garnered 7A. Oh my God, oh my God. Does he have a ring on? We were babies too. You guys, you didn't volunteer to go. You were told to go. You didn't have a choice. We, as stewardesses, we were asked, do you want to go to the Far East, or excuse me, to Asia, and to help with the Vietnam conflict? What the H do we know? All I knew was like, excuse me, if they look like the guys out of Travis Air Force Base, me, I'm going. And so we were based at Yokota Air Force Base. We received our DOD card under the Military Airlift Command, and we went where you went, and we cried with you, and we wrote letters with you, and we understood how frightened you were because we were frightened too. And I remember my sister writing me a letter. This is before, of course, Facebook, cell phones, blah, blah, blah. I received the letter from my sister and she said, what do you mean you're in Laos? We're not in Laos. And so by the time I got that letter 3 weeks later, I wrote back to her, not only was I in Laos where we're not supposed to be, I'm in Cambodia. We're not supposed to be there either. So get a grip. It was a very difficult time in our life as babies, growing up with you And as I look back and I look at my World Airways family, and I think to myself, all of you here are connected because regardless of what branch of the military you served, you had each other's back. So did we. As World Airways family, we had each other's back. And as Vietnam vets coming back home to probably people who didn't appreciate what you did, we were stunned by it. We stood by your side and we cried with you. We didn't understand that either. And you need to know, not only do you have each other's back, and not only do we as World Airways people have each other's back, we're all family. We love you. We are so grateful for what you did. And we're very clear that we sleep safely because of what you did. And from the bottom of our rotten little hearts, all of us say thank you so very, very much. Please let us know what we can do to continue to support us. We're all family.
Thank you.